Hey movie junkies, welcome back to Twin Flicks, where we always here celebrating the magic of movies and physical media with you. So today is a video that I've been really excited about since it was announced, I think last year from Paramount Pictures, and that is their 4K UHD presentation of this classic film, Chinatown. Now, real quick side note here before we dive into the review. This 4K from Paramount Pictures does include the movie sequel, The Two Jakes. And this was for a limited run. It's already out of print. Paramount has confirmed very recently, though, that they are going to re-release Chinatown in 4K, but only as a standalone disc. So you're not going to get the Two Jakes with it with their next reissue of Chinatown in 4K. And I do own the previous release Blu-ray. I've owned the DVD and the Blu-ray before this one. And it carried kind of like what they did, what Paramount decided to do with their Blu-ray release of Godfather. If for some reason they put a little bit of this harsh sepia gold hue or tone washed over the image. And like I said, that's similar to what they did with Chinatown. So I'm absolutely thrilled that Paramount Pictures hopefully corrected this situation with this new 4K scan, because Chinatown does come at us with a new 4K restoration from the original 35mm negative in native 4K DI with HDR10 and Dolby Vision grading. Alright guys, so let's dig in and take a closer look at Chinatown in 4K UHD and if it's really worth upgrading to. Now, when going into Chinatown, you have to understand that by design, the filmmakers had a muted color palette with splashes of hues and tones of different colors. It's never been a bright, colorful film. And the 4K scan with the color reproduction faithfully honors the original source material in a way that the Blu-ray releases just did not. Now with the 4K scan, the color reproduction remains much more faithful, that more closely resembles the theatrical presentation, or as close as possible to its theatrical presentation. And the use of HDR10 really drives this home even more with a wider color gamut that draws out bolder hues that really gives some nice extra punch to the already muted color design. Primary colors pop with some nice pleasing brilliant colors with added color depth, looking more active with a very attractive color design that faithfully honors and showcases John A. Alonzo's gorgeous Oscar-nominated cinematography in full here on the 4K. Where unlike the Blu-ray releases, this never really allowed us to fully experience the film the way Roman Polanski and his DP Alonzo intended the film to look. Also allowing us to fully appreciate the artistry of every single frame of this film. For instance, a few good examples here, especially when comparing the Blu-ray to the 4K. Look at Faye Dunaway's red lipstick, where some shots on the Blu-ray it looks like she's not even wearing red lipstick. Now we have this really nice, deep ruby red lipstick that she wears. Also look at Jack Nicholson's creamy white suit and other costume designs throughout the film. It exudes a much more Hollywood glamour style of that time period. We even have lusher green grass and tree foliage of landscapes, but then we also head into the desert scenes with all the varied browns that's bathed in a yellow light. Again, every single frame looks beautifully replicated and rendered here that really pops against the muted color palette. Skin tones also look much healthier and more natural, while on the Blu-ray, it really leaned more towards a hot rosy or yellow tones. Saturation and contrast are also dialed in perfectly without any overuse of saturation. It doesn't look artificially used or too hot. Instead, the saturation is used just enough to give some lifelike image and healthiness in the image. And contrast is handled much better here on the 4K, especially during night and low light scenes. The black levels are also handled much better here with the 4K that looks better resolved, and the HDR10 enhances the black levels, giving us those truer, deep, inky black levels, and also richer shadow details. That really helps a lot, especially during night scenes, especially in the finale of the film, giving a truer sense of night. And also all this draws out more information and colors in the image throughout the film with these night scenes, along with low light scenes looking much better with shadow details and within the image now than I've ever seen it before. As for the overall image quality, the 4K is handled much better, looking much more lifelike and natural now than what we had on the Blu-ray releases. And this really better complements the film's gritty noir appearance. The higher 2160p resolution gives more finer lines with a much clearer and sharper, or as sharp as it can be, image. Details look much finer and more revealing, such as the thin pencil lines in Jack Nicholson's suits that we never really saw on the Blu-ray. It wasn't very revealing, or even down to the detail of wood grain. Close-ups are razor sharp, revealing facial pores, blemishes, makeup, lines on faces, even down to every bead of sweat. And a big reference point here is the stitching on Jack Nicholson's nose. There's also more depth in the image now and spaciousness that's never been there before on any home media release, especially the previous DVDs and Blu-ray, giving a very lifelike and three-dimensional appearance here on the 4K. As for the bit rate, it's also likewise impressive. I saw it start out in the high 70s, and I saw it top out in the low 100 Mbps. As for the grain level, as we all know, Paramount is notorious for heavy grain management, and I did notice some here and there throughout the 4K as well. However, it's nowhere near a waxy mess with artificial smoothing or AI smoothing done. That's not what happened here. And in fact, there is still a very nice, distinct layer of 35mm grain field that looks natural, giving a really nice, excellent, pleasing filmic appearance. That also helps it even more so with depth, and also giving us that gritty 1930s noir Los Angeles atmosphere. Alright guys, now let's dive into the audio presentation of Chinatown on 4K, and we have the same Dolby True 5.1 soundtrack as on this 2012 Blu-ray. Surround channels, especially with music and some sound effects such as gunshots and vehicles, have some nice activity in the surround channels and some nice dynamic range and fidelity. And dialogue is rendered clean and clear. Alright guys, so my score for Paramount Pictures Chinatown on 4K UHD, I'm giving this one a overall for video and audio of 5 out of 5. I'm telling you, Paramount Pictures deserves huge props for this one. They hit this one out of the park, and they did this 4K right. But now head over to the comment section and let me know, when you look at the differences here between the two formats, the Blu-ray and the new 4K UHD, which do you like better? Or do you see much comparison at all? Head over to the comment section and let me know. Alright guys, well thanks so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes here as we talk about Chinatown on 4K UHD. Let's get that Blu-ray out of here. As always, keep physical media alive, and we'll see you next time with another 4K versus Blu-ray comparison.